Okay. So way back in Gurugram in 2012, when I was working as an investment banker with Bank of America, there was a director from Asia Pacific region who visited us for 3 days for a meeting, and I was the only female in my team. They asked me for the meeting. The entire team was about to head for the meeting, and a natural procedure before a girl heads for the meeting, it's the loo that she heads for. So I went to the loo, combed well, and this kajal and all, and then I came back and I saw everyone is aligned around the table, and there was one chair at the corner. I very well connected to this story, to Lean and Story by Sheryl Sandberg, and the next thing that came to my mind, I sat there for 3 hours and I was not part of that meeting actually. So the next thing that I did next day was, because it was a 3-day meeting, so the next thing which I did was, I didn't go to the loo next day. God. And I was 5 minutes early because I knew the timings. I was 5 minutes early. I sat around the table that took the center one, and then yeah, everyone came. They sat around me, and the director took the head chair, and but still I felt, the height of the guys around me, next to me, they were a little taller. So I still felt somehow tiny. Maybe I wanted myself to be looked or recognized, or maybe when I speak, the director doesn't have to do like this. So I told the guys next to me, can you please pull down the chair? And amazing. And over a period of time, I realized these tiny things which you do each day makes a difference. And when you start a business which says, how can you start a business that can make a difference? The difference that you make is first with yourself. You create a difference every day, each day, with yourself, with people around you, with the maid that comes, the daughter of the maid that comes, everyone around you. And that's how when you start a business, you create a business with a difference. The ownership is the one thing that I want to highlight here. Why we need to take a business to a level where if things pass on well, it's the ownership of the team that you have to say. But it does fail, it's the ownership of yours only. And that's how you start building it every day. When I was getting married, I had an option to stay in Delhi or to move to Bangalore. I already had spent a decade here in Delhi, so I thought, okay, let's go to Bangalore. And I moved to Bangalore. It was 2 months of break that I had, and in 2 months of break, I heard this word, a fancy word, for women. This is majorly used for women now. I have seen some men also using it. But that was the word I heard it for the first time because I lived in a very sustainable kind of an environment, a very supportive environment, especially dominated by men. Many men were investment bankers compared to women being investment bankers. So I never heard because men never took those career breaks. And when I came to Bangalore, I heard the fancy word sabbatical. So I was actually surprised. I didn't know what the meaning was. So I opened the Google and I searched what the sabbatical means, and it has a very fancy definition, and I could correlate to that. Why? Because it was just 2 months of my sabbatical. And I applied for jobs, I went through to the interviews, I cleared some, I failed to clear some. I had offers and I rejected offers. Why? Because of the 2 months of gap, they tagged me as a lady on a sabbatical and they said, your package can't be the same.
2 months?
2 months.
Oh, wow.
Then I went ahead and I researched why a lady on a sabbatical has to go through this term and her package comes down. I went ahead, I joined few platforms which are specially curated for women on career break. I interviewed these women and then I thought, okay, let's do something which is which help them to scale up not only their skill but also the mindset. The mindset to say no. When I refused the offers, I had people around them telling, okay, you take it and then you apply. I could have done that because that's not a bad option. But then I wanted to question myself that it's just 2 months, not 2 years or 2 decades or 6 months or not even 6 months. Why should I go for such a tag? And it was not only me who cleared the interview, but the interview was cleared by men who were going through no career breaks. When I can clear an interview with a man and no career break, sorry to hurt the ego with the man in the room, but he's busy setting his button. I thought, okay. So I thought, like, why 2 months and why this tag? So I went ahead and started a holistic talk show, which is to address women on a career break to help them relaunch themselves into the workforce without guilt, with complete upscale and reskill process.
Amazing.
Now, this talk show is, the guest speakers are not only women, but they are men as well. The audience now, when I started, the audience were precisely women. Then I started getting offers or requests. Can I join? I'm a man. Can I join? I am a boy of 20 plus, but then can I join? I said, okay, if you want to join, do join. But bring a lady with you, because if you don't benefit, let some female hear it for free at your cost and let that person benefit. Slowly, I got more of traction from men. And I realized it's not only women. It was a false notion in my mind that women go through career break and they are tagged women on sabbatical. To my surprise, there were men who were on career break and they were tagged with sabbatical and they were going through mid-career crisis. And then I started curating my talk show based on the skill sets that any individual in a holistic manner they need in life. What kind of skill sets I need, maybe the other skill sets, other person may need the same skill sets. So what could be the skill set? Me being an investment banker, I knew financial planning very well. Even compared to my husband, to whom I taught financial planning. He is a good financial planner as per his, now he is teaching his sister how to plan what I taught him.
Yeah, because you're better at it. Yeah.
Because I was into that career for a decade. Now, I realize financial planning is not only for me, but for men as well. Any earning member needs to be financially empowered. And how can they do that? If you tell them that this percent of your amount needs to be saved, and then that needs to be divided based on different criteria. If someone is working and then they want to start their business, don't leave the work. First, work on your business. Work on the idea. Don't just jump into leaving your work, becoming financially dependent, and then starting a business. Time management. Why time is important? You can buy anything on this planet Earth. Can you buy time? Gone is gone. I believe time management is something that needs to be taught to kids right at school. And what we at education centers, what I felt, if at a young age, if I would have been taught the skill sets, how to earn money, how to manage my time, how to manage my pocket money, how to manage my different skill sets apart from what is theoretical, life would have been better. And that is where I started integrating different aspects of life into a talk show. If I invite someone, in fact, towards the later part of my talk show episodes, I started receiving requests from people to organize spiritual talks as well. I conducted one on law of attraction and forgiveness, but that was a request that I received. Then I conducted an episode from a financial expert, a person, an author who has written a book on time management, an author who has written a book on employability, who has been my mentor as well for a while. And thereon, I started recognizing the need of an individual to live a holistic life. And that holistic life is not only one which is finance, but it has to be all in a pie. All in a pie. It has to be spiritual, it has to be mental, it has to be the health, it has to be the financial, it has to be your relationship, not only with your spouse, but your kids, your parents, everyone. And it has to be holistic. Thank you.
It's wonderful. Thank you, Michelle.